Hey guys, welcome back to another thrifting video. This is going to be about a week's worth of stuff. Sometimes I forget to record while I'm there or ahead of time, so then I'm kind of going back. It kind of jumps around a little bit. Hope you don't mind that too much. But anyhow, I'm going to start off at the Goodwill, and I got some video from Goodwill, not the bins, but the regular old stinking Goodwill. And then we'll move on from there. So hope you enjoy. Hey, I'm at the Goodwill in Lake Jackson, and I'm going to show you a few things that I was looking at, and you can decide what do you think I picked up and what I didn't pick up. But the first thing I was looking at here are these Christopher Radko, what do you call them? Kind of like chip and dip trays. They're melamine material, and they had those two trays that were taped together right there, and then they had another set with the same thing. So I think both of those were like $3.99 each for the two trays. And then they also had these are also Christopher Radko melamine, and these are just some rectangular trays as well for whatever that's at, $1.99 each, I think. If I'd gotten all of them, they would be, I think, $14, something like that for all of that. So I was just looking at those. And then I looked at some hats. There's this Red Bull hat. I think they wanted $4.99. Pepe jeans on the back, Infinity on the side. You know, it's a cleanable kind of hat. It didn't look great, but it'd be cleanable. And then there's a Michael Kors bucket hat right here. I don't know if people fake Michael Kors bucket hats or not, but this one looked nice. I like the little band around the outside of it, the top with the kind of the belt looking thing. So I found that one to be interesting at least. And this is really interesting. This is this horse Chinese style. And if I did an eBay lens search, and quite a few of these pop up. They wanted $9.99 for this one, and the main issue here was that tail had been repaired. There was a crack on the bottom side of the tail, so that's one of the downside of that one. Back to the plates, I thought these were cool looking, kind of looked like a little gold and quartz, so I was checking out what the maker was and what brand it was, and then this bowl over here kind of caught my eye too. And so I was just checking out to see if that looked like was it interesting enough to remove the price tag and look at? That's kind of what I had to decide. Then these these colored glass plates, I thought they were interesting. Again, I didn't see a maker mark on the bottom, but those can be good sellers sometimes. And let's see what else we got here. Then just kind of showing how things get stacked up there, and everything in this Goodwill just shows up good. They just put everything on top of the clothing racks, so they don't have their own dedicated shelves. Everything just gets put up on clothes on the racks there, and you have to walk up and down. And then the last thing I had here were these cups stamped with Victor. There were 4 of them. They wanted $1.99 each. They were pretty heavy, nice looking mugs. So I did take some video of some other things that I decided not to get. One of them was that horse statue. I hemmed and hawed on that one. I don't know if you could see in the video. I'm hoping I'll be able to voice over it because, in Goodwill, they always play music. But there was a crack on the tail, and there were a lot of those listed. When I did a search a photo search on eBay, a lot of those come up. Listed in the $60, $70, $80 range, but I didn't see anything that had sold. And that plus the fact that it had a crack on the tail. They wanted $10 for it, and I just decided to leave it. The other thing I really thought hard about were those melamine, Christopher Radko melamine plates and serving platters and all. Again, there are some solds of Christopher Radko melamine things, but that would have been, I think, $12 if I'd gotten all of them, I believe, or $14. And I just decided to leave it. There weren't enough solds, or there was like one of those chip and dip trays that was listed for $30, but none had sold. So I left those two. Probably, I really thought about buying that stuff because that was pretty cheap. And then what else did I show you on there? But I think there's maybe something else that I also didn't pick up. But that's the thought process, at least. I'm going to get better at this, I promise you. But now coming up here, so I'm trying to cobble this thing together. I'm talking about some stuff that I picked up at that little thrift store by the high school, and then I'm going to go into the stuff that I actually picked up from the video you just saw. So here you go. So I'm going to start off at that little thrift store by the high school, and they had a bunch of records, and I did not have much time. I was on my lunch break, and I saw them right at the last minute, so I really didn't have much time to go through. I just got the ones that I thought looked interesting. They're $2 a piece. Three Dog Night, the babies, this Frank Zappa looked kind of cool. Herbie Hancock, these Quadraphonic, that's Edgar Winters, and a Jeff Beck Quadraphonic, and another Jeff Beck group. And then this one was one that I did look up, and it seemed to have quite a bit of value, but I don't think that's how it's supposed to look. So I took a chance on it. We'll see if this has any value. But that's what I got at there. So those are $2 a piece. Hopefully I'll be able to sell a few of those. I've got so many records that I need to sell. And I need a list, I mean. All right, so here's an example of when I decide to pay up for something. So this Waterford crystal, this is at the regular old stinking Goodwill. This was, I checked it over real closely. No cracks, no chips. It's in the original box. Got the that little thing. And there are a lot of sold copies. So they, at Goodwill, had this for $30, which is a lot for me to buy at Goodwill. But there are a lot of sold ones in the $70 to $80 range. So I figure I could double my money pretty quickly, and that's why I went ahead and picked it up for $30. Got to get it listed, hopefully make my money back on that one quickly. And then today I took some video inside Goodwill, and I showed you a bunch of stuff that I was looking at, and I'll show you what I actually decided to pick up. So I got 4 of these coffee mugs, Victor on the bottom. They're very thick, and there are a lot of solds of these, and that's $2. I need to do a little bit more research on it, because there's one that's over $35, and there's also ones that have sold for $4 or $5 each. So I'm not sure where mine fit in, but they do seem older and very thick and in very good shape. There's one of these that was sold with a big chip in it, and it sold for $10. And that was the most recent sale. So I think I did pretty good on those. I got 4 of these. And then I looked at some hats. I did pick up this Red Bull hat. Red Bull Racing has infinity on the side. Pepe jeans on the back. I think I can clean this up pretty good, and it'll probably be in the $25 range or so for that. And I paid $4.99. They price their caps between $2.99 and $4.99, and that was a $4.99 one. But like I say, I think I can get probably $25 for it. And then I went ahead and picked up this one too. This is a Michael Kors bucket hat, and this one was $7.99, I think. Yeah, $7.99. There are sold comps of Michael Kors bucket hats up in the $60, $70, $80 range. I don't know where this one will fall in, if it's in there. The ones that I saw didn't have this buckle, which I think is a pretty cool design feature. They have a little belt on it like that. So hopefully that makes it a little bit better and a little bit more valuable. So that's what I decided to pick up. So I'm going to go through some things that I picked up today and yesterday, and show you what I'm looking to list this week. So this I'm not doing it. Go. So I did manage to get a little clip there of the Goodwill bins today, but let me show you what I actually picked up while I was there. I didn't get a whole lot. As you can see, my total was $15.12. Some books, some records and things. So didn't really look up a lot of this stuff just because, you know, when it's 33 cents each. This one I did. This one should be, you know, nothing really great. $15–20 on that. Here's something that you might not think about when you're car manuals. So this was the Navigation and Multimedia Systems Owner Manual for a 2022 Sienna. So this probably is going to be about a $15 item right here. The other books I got, vintage paperbacks. This one just had a look about it, and I looked it up, and it's got some value. Oh, this is Kevin Hart book that is an autographed copy. He's got a terrible autograph. Look at that thing. That's it. But I did look it up online to see other examples, and that's what it looks like. And then I saw this later when I got home that it is an autographed copy. So that's probably $25 to $30 right there. Then I got this, what was this? I don't know. I didn't even mean to pick this one up, but Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. Religious stuff does sell a lot, but I don't know about that one. This one looked interesting. Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico. This one I picked up, never heard of it, but it is signed by the author. So if anyone that did want this, they probably want one that's signed, but nothing real valuable or anything. And then I think I just showed you that one there. The others were albums. So a couple Cat Stevens, and this is a Cat Stevens, T for the Tillerman, and then Bread was the other, 33 and a third that I got. Then I got a bunch of, well, there's a few 45s here. This one looked like it had some value. This is Eurovision 71 Karina. These, I have no idea. I thought they looked interesting. This was Hawaii War Chant, 49th State Hawaii Record Company. The Waikiki Records, My Little Grass Shack. And another Hawaiian wedding song. And another Hawaiian war chant. So I don't know if those are worth anything or not. Oh, here's another book, Grand Obsession. There's like one listed for like 30 bucks, so I thought, we'll give it a shot. And then I got a bunch of these old 78s. So these don't have a lot of value, but there were names that I recognized, like Slim Whitman, a lot of country stuff. My friend Scott was there, and he helped me. He knew some of the names that I didn't, so I'd heard of like Lester Flats and Earl Scruggs. So, but some of the other ones that he knew, these seemed to be all a lot of country. Spike Jones and the City Slickers. So that's I remember. I don't know if these are worth anything or not. I haven't looked at any yet, but like I say, the names that I've heard of, Bob Wills, for example, and Lefty Frizzell, and they're all in pretty good shape. There were a lot of them that were broken, of course, but another Slim Whitman. Let's see, Pee Wee King. I think that was one that Scott recognized that I didn't know. I've heard of the Hilltoppers. So we got the Hilltoppers. Rex Allen. This one had a song called Texas Tornadoes. I had to get that. We had Mills Brothers, Kitty Wells, Carson Robeson, Floyd Tillman, Tex Williams. This was Eddie Condon and his orchestra, Hank Williams, Dan Freeberg. I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover. Had to get that one, of course. And that's just another Hilltoppers. Down here at the bottom is the ones that I think if anything is worth much at all, it'd be some of these, the ink spots. So Ella Fitzgerald sang with the ink spots, but I don't know if she sang on this one. You know, I don't know. So I've got this one for the ink spots. I think this one is too. When you come to the end of the day, and I'll lose a friend tomorrow. So don't know, but those might be the ones that are worth something. Frankie Lane, Red Foley, and Floyd Tillman. So, and then the only other thing I got this little Egyptian thing here. This actually didn't cost anything. So all of these things were 3 for $1. And then this one was like, whatever it is, $1.89 a pound. So when I put this one on the scale, it didn't even register. So I didn't have to pay anything for that. So this came up free. But yeah, that's what I got today. Hey, so I stopped by the Goodwill once again today on my way home from work. And I want to show you what I got. What do you think of my shirt? Got this at the SPCA. Thrifted it for $1 last Saturday. Huh? Not bad. All right. Pierre Cardin. I don't get a whole lot of books at the Goodwill, but this is one that does not have a barcode, so they didn't know what to do with it. And so they just put a $2.99 on it, which is about as cheap as hardbacks go there. But I have actually sold this before. It's a leather-bound copy. That should be a $30 to $40 book or so right there. And then I have this plate and the bowl that matches. This double dragon. It has like the Japanese writing on the back. So not sure anything about it, but it's very heavy, very thick. It has a kind of an old feel about it. And there was one listing, none sold, but there was when I did a image search only, someone had this up for, it had several of them for $85 each. So if that's legit, then this should be a pretty good find for, what were they? $2.99 for each of those. And then I got this guy, and I don't know if I want to keep him or try to sell him. This is Shou, S-H-O-U, Shou, like the, symbolizes longevity. And he's pretty cool, right? But I don't know if he's old or not, or anything about him. So, but he was in great condition. Like, I didn't see any cracks or anything on him. And no markings, unfortunately, that I could see right away. Maybe I'll try to clean that off and see if there's any markings underneath. And I don't know if all this dark marks on here, like through here and through there and in the robe, if those were intentional to try to make it look old, if it was intentional because that's the way they wanted it to look, or if it's unintentional, not sure. So I haven't decided whether I'm going to keep that dude or sell him. He was $15, $14.99 I paid for that one. So I figure if I sell him, it'll probably be at least that much. So there you have it. I think that was a little bit too long of a video. I'm going to try to edit this down next time. Hopefully it won't be quite so long. But it was probably about 10 days or maybe even close to 2 weeks of thrifting. That's the kind of stuff that I'm picking up and putting up on my eBay on a weekly basis. So I hope that was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.